It has been a really interesting journey. It started off with connecting with the clubs, the local clubs that were deeply impacted by the flooding, and that was through Conversations Worth Having. The top two priorities for the community really came to be knowing our neighbors, and the other one was about leveraging the systems, like the council systems, but also the community systems. How do they meet? Where are the gaps? How can we really be connected and be ready for the next time? And Making Visible started coming to life.
Water, water, storm, and rain, rain. Too much, too quick for the drain. Disaster struck. Nobody escaped without a scar. Many people even lost their car. This is life-changing, that's for sure. Will time move on and give us some cure? To deal with failing health and all this loss, over lifetime collected precious things and the cost. Is this the end? Finally in sight? When will we get over this plight? When will we move back to normal life? When will we recover from so much strife? We are all in this together, waiting for the finish and better weather. During all of this, the Tui stayed and sings, there is hope for warm, colorful spring.
I've been doing community development most of my life, and my time here in New Zealand has been over 25 years, and this is probably one of the best projects I've ever been involved with. It's just had so much love and care and heart. It's such a privilege and so humbling because we've met the most incredible people.
Good afternoon, everybody. Great to see you here. Today we're celebrating the heroes in terms of people who look after us in times of safety and in times of resilience and connectedness.
Kia ora, my name's Greg Walden. I'm on the Hibiscus Bays local board. In terms of resilience, I'm pretty much the conduit between Auckland Emergency Management and the hubs.
Yeah, I'm Stuart Milne, yeah. And I'm a member of the church up the road there, the Presbyterian Church, and we've become a community emergency hub. We were asked by the local board who wanted to be involved in what was to become the Mid-Bays Resilient Communities Group. We have a lot of documentation which is being distributed, which gives the information about where hubs are and how to get in contact. Having no power and no water and no communication's a bit scary, eh? Yeah.
We have around 140 Category 3 homes that are being moved out, so in Milford and Sunnyside. So that is massive because it changes the whole community. There will be houses that are now going that weren't just a house, they were a family that were involved with school and they were involved with the library and community centres and all the things. They're not just the house.
It was actually down in Wairau and around like by the Rebel Sport there. We'd put the boats in the water and it was all those surrounding shops there where people were kind of stuck in the shops. We'd drive across, they'd all load up and we'd pull them back out.
Yeah, we were driving kind of along all the roads where there was like a metre of standing water above the road level.
So you're having to like compensate with the boat, so the boat's like kind of drifting down the road as well. Avoid fences and signs and even cars, which is something you're definitely not used to driving a boat around.
Ordinary people are doing ordinary things in beautiful ways, connecting ways, loving and caring ways. Those little loving experiences that make such a difference in so many people's lives. There's so many layers of recovery for this project.
In my own experience with the flooding, my art studio was lifted up and I I in the moment leapt out and stepped into the water and grabbed hold of that studio because I didn't want my things to be scattered. And so in that moment, I was holding on tightly. And I needed something to connect, to hold, to help me. And it was rope, and like, where is the rope? And then where are the nails? And well, where is the hammer? How do we do this? And where is someone to help me as I hold on to this? We all brought objects of significance, dynamic and varied. This is what they revealed. Stormwater rising with nowhere to go. The need for a way to extract and displace in a stressful time of need. A loss of things. Love, the passage of time, hope, and remembering. I don't want to feel unprepared again. My object, it stands for preparedness. Vulnerable, but responsive. A sense of buoyancy, yet susceptibility to rot and decay. Sharing the struggles and the triumphs, thank goodness for you. Communities coming together. Solidity and stability, tethering, holding tight, binding with care. For the love of trees, mighty and ancient providers of food, shelter, homes, and soil stability. And yet, when they fall, the damage can be sudden and destructive. So the event reminded me that it's not just about me. I'm having this experience, but the need of others and things in relationship to place.
It was a Friday night, and to be fair, it had been raining on and off a bit during the day, and we'd kind of been keeping an eye on it, but we never imagined it was going to do what it did. When we were leaving and on the way home, as I went up Beach Road, that you could see the amount of water that was starting to come down Beach Road and down the hill.
So actually we knew the kindergarten was literally in the water.
We weren't sure how high the water had come up inside because it's really quite hard to tell because water soaks up into plasterboard and things like that. But a lot of the boxes and crates that we had at floor level had water in them.
Surprise, I got such a shock. There was water coming through the back door that was shut. It was coming up the sides of the door and coming in. And I kept thinking, where's this water coming from? How come it's this high? It just amazed me how the water came in and sort of curled around into every little room, every place it could go to, it went into, and it settled probably at the most about 1 metre off the floor, I'd say.
Our fence came down, our neighbours started to panic as well. I remember yelling out to my husband, quick, we need to move, it's moving fast. It was coming up the stairs onto our deck. We had started moving things out rapidly.
Moangi Bay Village was badly flooding down the main street. And a number of the search and rescue team arrived and found people in trouble. So a number of our guys got immediately involved in rescuing people trying to cross the road where the Z station is. That was a flooding torrent, and they had to lock arms to help rescue some people there. We actually struggled to get any vehicles down to the reserve where our search and rescue equipment is, because most of it's activated on the beach, but we couldn't even get cars down through the floods.
Our church is in Anzac Road, and we went down there and there were cars floating down the road, so we knew that there was a lot of water. I went there about 6 o'clock the following morning when the water had subsided, and walking through the church, you could hear the water under your feet everywhere, so we knew it was bad. We probably had 1/2 metre of water through the church everywhere.
It's been there in plain sight in black and white that all our floodplains are there, they're mapped, and yet we continue to build in those zones, and we continue to build in ways that we shouldn't be building in those zones. What have we learned? If you get insurance money, do we simply build back what was already there, or do we have a bit of a look and say, well, how can we build back better?
I think the more you tell your story, the more it changes, or the more pieces come out that you didn't know were there, and the more connections you can make. And the beauty for Christy and I, that with these workshops, we've been to 5 or more, we could take a new object to each. So it helped us to really piece together the great big story and the storying and restorying of our community experience.
There was the objects, and then it was bringing it together, and it had its own entity.
At face value, an object is an object, and then it's the story behind it that is amazing. And so it became a real privilege for those who gathered in that moment to be witnessing that storytelling.
It's the individual experience with the meaningful object, then it's our collective experience, and then it was a whole other ballgame when we brought it all to the exhibition together.
We had the idea that there would be an exhibition at the end, and we wanted to work with Mairangi Arts. We wanted to keep everything local, and so everything, our resources, our materials have all been gathered locally and sustainably as well.
Te mātahi o te tau, te kohinga whetū I te uma o. Storm resilience is about staying connected, not forgetting how we, although it was a disaster that brought us together, it doesn't take us a disaster for us to stay together. It just takes you and me meeting every day, celebrating every day, and preparing for the future.
Because if you look at the positive light that has come out of such a negative time in a lot of people's lives, it is that community. They now know their neighbours, and really you've got that network that you might not have had before.
So from this exhibition, it has connected and strengthened the relationship with the Mid-Bays Resilience Group and the neighbourhood support.
Basically what we're doing is connecting with communities and neighbours to educate them on how to keep safe, how to work with each other, how to support each other, and basically become resilient. We see that people felt like they got left behind, and we really want to acknowledge them and also say, hey, what can we do to help them?
How to be prepared for emergencies, what resources there are, and also safety as well, how to protect your belongings at home.
We're looking at how can we weave the different resources and groups together so that we can leverage the community in a really good way.